All right, we are live, and the New York Mets have officially completed the trifecta of running their stars out of town. Brandon Nimmo first, Edwin Diaz yesterday, and now Peter Morgan Alonso signs 5 years, $155 million with the Baltimore Orioles. And I don't really know how to – I think the Mets fans were upset with Nimmo leaving, furious with Diaz leaving, and now I think we are radioactive following Alonso leaving, which if we sounded to 5 years, $155 million, I think a lot of people would be mad at that too, because it feels like a correction. But let me go to my boy KFC here. We're going to have the boys join as it goes because we're just doing emergency podcasts daily at this point. So, Kev, how are we feeling right now, pal? Uh-oh. I lost you.
Oh, hang on. I
got you now. Oh, now I lost you again. You're remuted.
Good God!
Oh, we're so old, dude. We're so old. Look at us.
No, it's connected to my fucking phone. No, bro. Let me say three things. Number one, this is the most mad I've ever been as a Mets fan.
Whoa.
This is the most angry I've been. I've been more sad. I've been more devastated. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like accountability and justifying this bullshit, this is the most mad I've ever been, because when the Wilpons were fucking us, I was furious, but it was like, hey guys, spend money. And they were like, we don't fucking have any. We're broke. It was like, yeah, you could explain it. This is not supposed to be the problem with Steve Cohen. So that's number one. Number two is I actually think this is the worst offseason in the history of the Mets. Perhaps the history of the sport, perhaps the history of all sports, considering where this team was at and some of the moves they've made in the past and where we thought we were going. To have this big of a step backwards is the worst offseason we've ever had. Worse than when we went like all in on Jeremy Burnitz and Mo Vaughn. Worse than when we went with Jason Bay instead of Matt Holliday. Worse than any of the other times we missed on every big free agent. These three guys at these numbers, at least the Diaz number, is inexcusable, and it's the most mad I've ever been. And I'm also mad at you fucking guys for what you just said, Clem. Pete Alonso at that number, a lot of Mets fans would have been mad in the other direction. None of this is supposed to matter anymore. We're not supposed to worry about 3 years or 4 years or even 5 years. We're not supposed to worry about $20 million here, certainly not $3 million there. The whole thing that we thought we were getting, and listen, I can't ever tell you that Steve Cohen himself said, don't worry, I'm going to buy everybody. So maybe that's on us for assuming. But this is not supposed to be the problem. We should be able to – 5 years, $155 million is reckless for Pete Alonso. We should be able to spend reckless money. And if there was ever a guy to spend reckless money on, it's a guy like Pete who on the field I find to be exceedingly productive, and we can talk about that and argue about that because I don't think you guys are on the same page I am. But even beyond that, go ahead and spend the extra money because he's a lifelong Met, because he's the home run record, because he has a big postseason home run. Fans love him. He loves us. There are certain times it's worth overpaying, and that was the perfect example of it. And coming on the heels of the other two is fucking unjustifiable. And mark my words, Pete Alonso, he's not his 53 home run self when he was a rookie. He's not a good defender. This will be a horrendous move when it's all said and done. And I don't know if you guys have drank the Kool-Aid or you've been poisoned too, but I don't fucking care that he can't throw the fucking ball to second base. I don't care that his defense is a problem, just like any other slugging first baseman ever. He's a fat, durable slugger who plays 160 a year and hits 30 or 40 home runs every time. He's going to go hit 250 more home runs for another team, and we're just going to watch it happen for money, for fucking money. And Stearns, who thinks he's smarter than everyone else. And until he actually does something that's smart, signing Juan Soto a blank check, anybody could have done that. Until he actually does something smart, I'm not fucking buying it. As a matter of fact, I'm the other direction where I think he's a fucking idiot who thinks he's smart, which is the worst kind of idiot to have running the show. I cannot. There's no explanation. I did a 10-minute like existential crisis last night that I couldn't explain it, and that was before Pete. And honestly, if you told me that there's a conspiracy theory going on now that Steve Cohen got his casino and we are purging assets because he's going to sell this team, as crazy as that is, that would make more sense than what's actually happening, which is them just being like, we don't want to do that, or, oh, that's a little bit dangerous, or like, oh, that's a little too long. We're supposed to be able to absorb all of that. with the richest guy in the fucking world.
Okay. No, all right, listen. But this is the thing, though. Going back to even when we got Cohen here, we said, like, we can now spend all the money, but we don't want it to be George Steinbrenner. And then, like, at some point, you can't just have, like, Pete for 5 years and he sucks. And after year, say 2, and then it's like, well, we're just going to put Pete on the bench or throw him where they put Carl Pavano and Kiyagawa. Like, it's just not how it works, unfortunately.
Why not?
And, God, what have we been talking about? What's happening after next season? You have to prepare for that. You have to prepare for that. What if the penalties are you lose 7 players if you're over the salary cap, and you lose 7 players, the highest paid player? Like, I'm just saying that's not going to happen. But I just think you have to just be smarter. I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying, but I think everyone is just so mad and all this stuff. Like Stearns, the amount of quotes about his smile. I think Frank has just completely.
That's the thing. By the way, Steve Cohen and David Stearns, you have done the unthinkable. You have made the biggest error ever because me and Frank Fleming are now coming together. We are going to combine as one. Instead of having me be the protector from you and Frank Fleming, we are both at your doorstep. Fuck you guys.
It was beautiful seeing you guys unite in the stream. Positivity
in the good way.
And now you're going to unite on like the dark side together. That's fine. If I ask you this, if Pete signed this deal after striking out to Devin Williams game 3 of the wild card against the Brewers, what would you have said?
I am a Pete Alonso fan, and I think you're all fucking crazy for not being. So I would have been cool with it. You
would have been mad either way.
What?
Because everyone seemed to want him the fuck out of town after the 2024 season. And that one home run changed everyone's mindset. And he had a great April. And then, Phil said the thing about his WAR. He was like 15th. And listen, I like Pete. I said it yesterday. I didn't want him for a long-term deal. I would have liked short, big money, and we just hit fucking bombs and we figure out how to build this team. But I don't think I can't be like, these guys are idiots until I see what everything does. I do this. I did it with the Quickly trade. You called me up, Clem, why the fuck are they getting rid of Quickly? Listen, man, we love Quickly, but OG is very important to what they're trying to build a team. Why do we get rid of Randall? I love Dante. He bleeds. He's the kind of guy I want. Listen, Cat is the future, man. We need a kind of guy.
We're talking about trades. We're just letting these fucking guys go. We have nothing. What are we going to do? Who are we going to get?
Are there free agents out there? Can we spend money on other guys?
Apparently not.
Can we trade for guys and maybe take a contract that's a little bigger that a small market team doesn't want?
Sure, yeah.
Do I have to? Can we podcast now? But all right. So we're gonna have a podcast in March when the team's done, and we'll be like, all right, now this is what happened, Kev. Okay, I'm just saying, I don't want people jumping off bridges yet. I don't want.
I'm jumping. I think that the players they let go, yes, is there a world where we go? I keep saying, let's trade for Scooble, let's trade for Tatis, and go get Tucker. If that happens, I will eat my words. I'll come on here and be like, yes, I was wrong. You had a big plan, and I'm a fucking idiot. But I will also say that the caliber of players and the importance of players, I'm all about production on the field and winning, but you do have to take into account that you are building a product and you have guys who want to be here and were here and Mets for life and important pieces that it's like, we're a family product and bring your friends and bring your kids and come to the ball. It's all fucking gone now. You got kids crying. You got people upset. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure they'll go get some players, but unless it is the top of the top, I think this is a horrible offseason no matter what continues to happen.
I am 2 hours away. There's a fucking clock here. It's counting down. 2 hours. I have a 7-year-old coming home, and I'm going to tell him his first favorite Met just went to the Baltimore Orioles. It's going to fucking suck. It's going to kill me. And he's going to say what he said after Diaz. Who do we get back? Because with Nimmo, we got Semien back, right? I'm going to be like, we got no one. He just left us again. And I don't know what to tell him. It sucks. Now, and this is the thing. I see the fucking idiots in the chat. Clem's always positive, fanboy, this and that. Are we just going to say, all right, this is the Mets team? If Stearns comes out, goes, Jeff McNeil starting at first, Ryan Clifford will be up in July, and this is our team, then I will go nuts. I'm positive about the Giants, and then when the Giants keep sucking and the fucking GM can't sign a kicker, we have Gunnar Olszewski playing out wide receiver, even though he's never played in his career, then it's like, you clearly don't have a plan. I have to believe these guys have a plan. I'm not saying don't be pissed. I'm just saying, keep that 1% inside of you, just to be like, I don't want to look like a boob in 24 hours or the way the fucking MLB free agency goes 24 days. You know what I mean? So Phil, I want to hear Phil's reaction to this all.
Let me just say this. So let me before you go, let me just say this. I think they do have a plan. I think it's a plan they can't say out loud. I think they know they can't beat the Dodgers, and they know there's a work stoppage coming. And like you said, they're planning for that. They're planning for the financial future. They're planning for the logistical future. They're not planning to win right now, but you can't say that. That's why I keep being like, what I can't figure this out. Like, there's usually like, oh, okay, I don't like it, but they did it because of this. Or like, I don't like it because they did it because of that. It's not making sense because they can't just come out and fucking say that because they would get smoked. Go ahead, Pete. Fucking Phil, whoever. Fucking goddamn.
Oh, Phil's muted after all that. You might be in your headphones.
We've got technical problems.
Kyle, you go. Kyle, you go. Phil,
Can you hear me now?
We got it. Yeah, you know.
Okay. Kev's right from a vibe standpoint. There's nothing the Mets could do to increase the vibes. Vibes are in the lowest. From a baseball standpoint, there is pivots off Alonso that can make them a better team. I brought up the stats. After May 1st, 14th in F4 amongst first basemen. We know Alonso's in decline. You don't know if the decline's going to happen next year, the year after. 5 years, $155 million. Any baseball person will tell you that's an overpay of a contract. First basemen don't age well. When in baseball history is paying a first baseman in their 30s proven to be the right decision? You can't point to a single one. Our Pujols, Prince Fielder, Miguel Cabrera.
I'm shocked that
those guys are all much better than Peter Alonso.
Chris Davis.
Yeah.
And Chris Davis, who unironically could turn into Pete Alonso, for all we know. So from a contract standpoint, I have no problem with the Mets not going to those limits. It's just, what's the pivot? Is the pivot, Suarez and Cody Bellinger? Is it getting the Japanese guys like Murakami, who's younger, who you hope could be a better version of Pete? I don't know. And it's hard for Stearns to sell that on fans when they're just so mad right now. And it's just the timeline of things. They're just messing everything up. It's the fact that all this is happening and we've done nothing but sign Devin Williams.
Who, ironically, gave Pete the biggest boost he's ever had since his rookie year. Kyle, how you feeling right now? Because yesterday you were very mad about Diaz, which I think that's the other thing with me. After Diaz, it's like the Band-Aid was already here. It's like, just rip it off with Pete. Like
we thought Pete was going to be gone last year. Like, realistically, we had already made our peace with Pete not coming back. And then
but how many times in the season we say, where would we be without Pete Alonso?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, in your head, you've already made peace with it last year. So it's like, it doesn't hurt as much. It's not as big of a shock. Whereas the Diaz one, Stearns even said they were shocked they didn't come back. So a guy who has a plan and then gets surprised, you don't really like to hear that. And then the other thing that really actually concerns me is, and this is not on that level, I'm not comparing these two players, Mookie Betts with the Red Sox and Chaim Bloom, who had a plan, and then everyone was like, yeah, your plan is that you're a fucking idiot. We'll see you later. You just wasted 5 seasons of our time. Like, that's where the concern comes in, because Pete Alonso, 38 home runs, 126 RBIs. Brandon Nimmo, 25 home runs for a career high, 92 RBIs. All of our offense was so top-heavy, and now 2 of the 4 guys that are at the top of the offense are now gone. Nobody's hitting behind Soto. If Mark Vientos does not have a bounce-back year, we're fucked.
You're fucked.
That is the beginning and the end of it. I don't care who you bring in. Nobody's replacing that much production from those 2 players unless there's some sort of domino effect that he's just about to push. Because if you're not on the precipice of putting together one of the biggest, like, fleeces of, like, draft day fucking Kevin Costner-esque, if one team throws a wrench in whatever your huge plan
is,
that's the thing. Because we have no leverage right now when it comes to signing free agents.
Right, none. That's timing matters.
That's the thing that's pissing me off.
Even if you were going to go get Kyle Tucker or some shit, now it's like that whole thing has changed because your fan base is at the door with torches and pitchforks. I threw around Chaim Bloom last night. I was texting my buddy saying it feels very similar in like a young wonder boy, smart.
Who we wanted.
And then, right. And we were like, well, we dodged a bullet. And it's like, well, maybe we fucking didn't. Maybe we just got another one of those guys. I know you can't be insanely reckless, but again, the whole point was to be able, and by the way, a lot of those contracts you threw out with like Pujols and those guys, that was during the era of like truly insane albatross overpays, 10 years, $300 million. I fully, when Steve Cohen signed, fully expected to be able to be like, you can give Pete Alonso $150 million and that's okay. That is fully within what I thought to be acceptable. And if that's not the case, I need to drastically adjust what I thought about Steve Cohen and whoever he puts in.
And then to hear we didn't even pick up the phone. We heard he wanted more than 3 and they didn't throw their hat in the ring.
And you know what else bothers me? And this matters too. We disrespected Pete. And we gave him an offer and said, prove it. And he did. And we still said, fuck you. And if you don't think, I know we love to just think about the numbers and the stats and the wins and losses, but if you don't think that kind of shit matters, where the next person might be like, you guys seem really fucking hard to please. Like you said, prove it. And a guy did 38, 126, whatever the fuck it was. And you said, we don't even give you an offer. That's a problem.
That plays fantasy baseball during the season, picking up and dropping people at the drop of a dime.
Right.
Shipping them off to a different city. Like these guys have families. These guys have futures. They got mortgages they got to pay for. And you're just playing fantasy baseball. Like that's what it is. So if he can put it all together, all you need is one. But with the stoppage and only one season, if they come into this year after breaking the attendance record, the fans
that's the other thing. They said, come to the park. We put it on you, and they answered the bell. And then he apologized for last season and said we'll fix it. And now, in order to fix it, whatever we do now, you can put together like a generational offseason run, and in my mind, you'll probably be back to even. Even if, let's say, you got younger and better in some of those spots, you're not going to be better than Diaz. Whoever you sign with Pete as of next year will probably give you the same sort of production. Nimmo is not like irreplaceable, but hard to replace. So like even if you went and got 30 home run guy, a 30 home run guy, and another pitcher, you're talking about we'll get back to where we were. And most of you guys all told me that last year was the worst year in history.
It's the worst year in history. And at the same time, I don't mind having a much different roster than what the team we watched.
I don't want the guys back that gave me the two of the worst seasons I've had in my life. I'm sorry.
What you wish for, man.
Okay. What's it going to be? Worse than last year? Fine. I'll just stop watching it simply. Who gives a fuck?
If the alternative is losing 100 games as opposed to that, whatever.
I'm hearing listen, I started calling him Brandon Seaver by the end. Brandon Nimmo, awesome guy, fucking lifelong Met, loved being here, very rare to get. We're treating him like he was Tom fucking Seaver by the end. It's like, guys, we have to let go. I
don't mind Nimmo, but when you couple it with the other two, now it's like, well, now
he has hurt me the most.
A couple weeks ago, I said, okay, we need to make a move. We upgraded defense to second base. We need to make a move to replace Nimmo's production. Now, when you have to replace Nimmo's production and Pete's production, and you have a question mark of a bullpen, now it does feel more important. Now I'm like, I wish we didn't get rid of Nimmo.
The safety net feels gone. That's what it feels like. Because it's like, all right,
there's no safety net because there's no leverage. There's no leverage in any talks. Everyone knows we have to improve. So teams are going to be holding our feet against the coals.
Yeah, we're going to give up all the prospects that we've been hugging.
Scott Boras is probably going to have us overpay for Cody Bellinger, or try to, because he got Alonso signed first. You definitely know that was part of his calculus.
And like we were in a good spot. Like last year was bad. I really contend. I know everyone thinks that last year was the worst year ever. I think that was much more of a fluke than anything. Pitching was a problem that needed to be addressed. I think if you move forward with that core, more often than not, you would have put together a winning offense that could have been a playoff team.
I don't know. I agree with that because Alonso had a bad summer. Alonso had a bad summer. Nimmo had a bad summer. Those guys were getting older. We don't know when that decline is going to start.
And 24 might have been the fluke when it was all said and done.
That's the other thing. We went into 2024 saying, oh, they're going to blow up his team at the trade deadline. Alonso's going to be traded. We don't know what's going to happen. And they just went to the NLCS. That's the outlier year.
I mean, we can argue about that. It's like, yeah, like did he have was it a smooth, consistent season? But at the end of the day, when Pete Alonso, when everyone was like, he's done, let him go, and he gives you 38 and 126 and was insanely productive. And I mean, we talked about the difference that Soto makes. Well, maybe the next 5 years with Soto behind him would have been a lot more like that one than the year prior.
That's true. Now, the guy that replaces Pete, maybe he gets better too, though, because he has Soto behind him too. That's one thing. That's our sweet baby boys. We could all agree on this. He's just a baby. He's 26, right? Might have just turned 27. He's a baby. Phil, have you been seeing this? All the Padres fans who are saying, like, I think we're getting Lindor. They've been doing this for a few weeks now. They've been trolling because everyone's saying
they're selling their team.
And honestly, at this point, I'm like, fuck. Is Lindor on the move now? Because it's like
Phil, we're selling our team. I feel like we're the Padres getting rid of all these guys.
I mean, their owner died. Our owner's alive.
We're not a casino. He's done. I said it before you guys joined. I think that's a more logical explanation than like, oh, we're just like worrying about, we're posturing for the future. This is what I was going to say before. We were in a good spot. I believe that core would have been good enough to play. So we can disagree on that. But I think we had that core. We had young talent, a lot of chips that we could have moved, and I thought we had a lot of money. Yet we needed to rebuild like basically an entire rotation, but we could have.
We still do. We haven't done anything.
All three facets. That's the other thing. I also was under the impression like we're gonna go nuts and spend and build a rotation. I mean, no, we're not. No, we're not.
Am I crazy to think the rotation is not as far off?
Yes, you're
Yep.
very crazy to think
Yep.
that.
I have
We need at least
Cohen,
minimum
McLean.
2 starters.
I have McLean, I have Peterson, and just tell me a third of those 17 arms we have, like Manaea and whatever. Say one of those guys.
Oh, I like
We need
Holmes.
two. We need 2 pitchers, yes, and that's a lot of money more than likely, or assets in a trade. But it's not like we need 4. Like people are like proposing like deals for 4 pitchers. Nolan McLean, hopefully by the end of the year, is our fucking ace at this point. What did you see last year that made you say Nolan McLean's not our ace?
You also need a bare minimum, say 8 just serviceable arms to start the season. Just because we're not going to have fucking bullpen games in June starting Carl Edwards and Hardys and fucking.
Yeah, you need a couple like 200 inning guys who are just gonna fucking throw. Like even McLean, like as good as he is going to be his first full season. Are there going to be innings?
That's the other thing with
David Peterson. Like, what if we get the final end of the season? David Peterson, Clay Holmes. I actually thought ended up being pretty solid, but like
Jonathan would start in AAA. He's not starting a year on the major league roster.
No. Senga injured, Manaea injured and old. Like
Senga's not. You're not going to full season him, and now you don't know what he is.
There's a lot. I mean, it's like it could come together and be serviceable. And if you went and got like Scooble, then it's like it anchors it. But it also could go the other direction. But I think, guys, the bigger point here, and like again, unless like to wrap up the winter meetings, he goes ham. I think the bigger point here is they're signaling we're not going all out here.
The winter meetings is wrapped up. They're all going home today. The winter meetings ended today. They're going to do a Rule 5 draft, and everyone's going to go back on their planes and do nothing.
And so, like, I don't know, man. I think, like, to me, logically thinking, if I wasn't, like, so diehard and passionate about this, if you explained this sort of situation about another team or another industry, I would be like, oh, these guys are saving money. They're not going – there's a lockout looming. There's a dynasty currently happening. And I think they probably made, Steve probably made a finance decision. Like, this is not a winning stock. Rip the fucking Band-Aid off.
There's no, like, we're already going to be over the tax regardless. We have $237 million guaranteed next year under contracts. We're not.
And that was why I said, like, with the core and the pieces, it's the time to move those pieces, get the stars, overspend a little bit right now, but go. Because then if you win, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Sproat, Christian Scott. You guys are forgetting a lot of guys.
You forgot Christian Scott because he was out all last year and he was ahead of all those guys.
He'll be back August. I'm telling you, August we'll be saying.
But maybe that is the thought. Maybe they're like, we're going to rely on 3 basically rookie arms, and like, so we can't go all in right now. We are planning for like 3 or 4 years, 2, 3, 4 years down the line. And I would, I know fans would hate to hear that because that just punts on the next couple seasons, but I'd rather hear that than this, where I'm like, I cannot logically come up with an answer for this.
I also think like the way things have broken in terms of like the Diaz signing happens, and then like the one news story is the Mets are stretching out Carl Edwards, and then it's just like it just gets everyone angry.
We're nearing a contract with Starling Marte. Like,
the Marte story.
It's like the inaction just pisses you off more than letting guys go because it's like, what are we doing? Because we weren't going after Pete for that money. Who are we talking to?
Yeah,
I know we're working in silence, but like, get something fucking done.
Scooble and Torkelson. Is Torkelson how he
had a good year.
He had a good year. He probably like that's the guy who like I bet Stearns gets off on. Like I can
for sure.
better here.
The problem that sucks is like if right now I heard that we traded for Scooble and Torkelson. Of course, I'd be happy about that, but like it's like I won't even be able to get excited about that unless it accompanies like 2 or 3 other moves where I will then put my hand up, put my foot in my mouth. I'm a fucking idiot. I bow down to you guys again. If not, if it's just one move, even a big move, it's like, okay, thanks, like great, but you didn't make up for the fact that like all of our fan favorites are gone, our entire core is gone. We have huge question marks, and we look cheap.
Well, Bellinger. What if I give you Bellinger, Torkelson, and what's his name? Scooble.
Bellinger's a guy who was like, if it was in addition to our team, I would have been like, yeah, cool. You're now asking Bellinger to like be second to Juan Soto.
It's not even just you need like 3 bats because you need to get a left fielder, a first baseman, and a DH. You need to get 2 starting pitchers, 2 relievers, bare minimum.
But that's why when you lay it all out like that, what is more logical? We're gonna do all of that, or they're signaling to you guys without saying it, we're fucking shutting it down for a year and probably 2 with the lockout, because I mean, the Dodgers just got Edwin Diaz. Like, we're not beating them, and we have money issues coming. The whole league does. So guess what, guys? When there's a mass exodus and you haven't brought anything in, you're probably signaling what this offseason is going to look like.
Well, I mean, mass exodus. Technically, Pete's the only one who hasn't. Like, we got a player back for Nimmo, and he's going to go to second. Not.
I hate what you're doing right now.
I'm just saying. Like, you're saying mass exodus. Pete is a big hole, like a guy. Now there's a huge hole in terms of power. We need a first baseman, but like, give me, like I said, Pete. I don't need a 35 home run, 31-year-old player that can't play defense. If I can get a younger player that can play defense, hit 22 home runs, I think that's fine.
Whoever we put at first base is going to be a better defender than Pete. Like, that's just automatic. He was the worst defensive first baseman last year.
Tell me what we look like last year. Saying he doesn't get hurt.
26 RBIs. Pete carried us for 2.5 months when Soto was struggling to start.
The first 2 months, and then he sucked the last 4 months.
I don't know what
Did
happened.
we not stack wins during those 2 months?
Those 2 months, yes, but when we were struggling in the summer, he had a 700 OPS.
What happened recently where all of a sudden all we talk about is first baseman defensive glove? When did this happen? When did this happen?
It matters a lot.
Does it?
We debated in fucking 2020. Do we want Pete or fucking Dom Smith? And we all said, I think Dom's the answer. All 4 of us said it.
Kevin, we lost the World Series for our first baseman not being able to throw.
Dude, you don't throw the ball that fucking often as a first baseman.
We lost the World Series because the first baseman could not throw the fucking ball.
I remember being the guy like Doug Minkiewicz is going to change this team because of his glove. Remember that?
That's what we can't have. These are the two. We need either somewhere between Doug Minkiewicz and Pete Alonso in offense and defense. That big gap is what needs to be filled.
Yeah, and what you just described, if we go get a dirt cheap guy who can play defense and hit 22 home runs, then go do it. Fine. Then I'll shut the fuck up.
Okay.
But they're not there. That's the issue.
No, that's my point. It's like
Cody
Bellinger.
Fucking
We are a
nothing.
franchise.
You guys are making it seem like Stearns can just snap his finger and that it's been lined up this whole time. And again, for every time everyone says, well, there must be a plan. There must be a plan.
Right.
There must be a fail-safe. And it's like, because whatever else he's doing doesn't make any fucking sense. So you have to try to rationalize it in your brain. Well, there's got to be a bigger picture here. And it's like, if you're relying on any other party that is outside of us in free agency that we can't just fix with dollars, which we can't, then it becomes a problem because there's extra teams that are in the mix that are going to use the Mets to leverage their position because we've already seen it twice this year.
And because we now have no leverage ourselves.
Yes.
And double down on that. If there isn't next moves and some grand plan, stop with your fucking smirky, smiling, laughing interviews because you're going to look like a fucking asshole. And I remember when he signed saying, oh, David Stearns was a Mets fan growing up. That's good. He knows what the city's like, the media's like, the fans like. Dude is operating like he's in Milwaukee trying to rebuild Milwaukee in front of Mets fans' faces, and we fucking hate you now.
And that's the thing that you thought he would have learned his lesson because when he traded Josh Hader in 2022, that caused like a big rift in the Brewers locker room when they were in first place. Fans are pissed because they got worse at the deadline, and he was a fan favorite.
It's this obsession with doing everything like
he did that for a team he wasn't even a fan of.
It's an obsession with doing everything cost effective, and like I want that, but you better be fucking incredible. You better be like Theo Epstein in his prime-esque, where like everyone loves you because you're getting it done. Otherwise, you're just like looking at this big pile of cash and being like, I don't want to use that. I'd rather do it my way. Well, why? Who cares? No one cares. We're all the top dogs. It's not even like back in the day with the Yankees where it was like they had a $200 million payroll when everyone else had like a $90 million payroll. All the top dogs are going to be in this ballpark, in this realm. It's just how it goes. And I can't figure out whether Steve Cohen is actually pulling back, being like, this is a bad financial investment, or if Stearns has somehow convinced him to do that. But either way, it's like, fucking why, man? Why?
I think Cohen has shown he's not going to do anything unless the players like $400 million, like a Soto, a generational players on the market. I don't think Cohen will get involved. He's letting Stearns do his thing. And you could read into that what you will, like it or hate it. That's just what it is.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've done it with the Knicks a million times. Like, like, don't meddle. Put someone in place.
Exactly.
But, like, the guy who's in place better be fucking right.
I would say,
Otherwise, no problem.
like, James Dolan's not he's not meddling with Leon Rose. Oh, maybe they would firing Tibbs, but that could have been a good thing for all we know.
Right,
So.
but it's, like, it's just, you got to make sure you have Leon Rose and not Phil Jackson, because if you just rely on the guy and he's not the guy, then it's like, because, there's only a couple of guys who are $400 million generational talents. Otherwise, there's a lot of in between of rookies and those guys where you can spend hundreds, dozens, tens of millions.
It's interesting who they seem to be getting rid of, too. It's like every voice in the locker room has been silenced. McNeil's on the phone with his agent right now.
That would be the one thing that could make me happy today. Trading
for that. What?
If somehow, after all this, Jeff McNeil is back on. I mean, I like assume. No, I'm gonna start chewing things like Frank.
He's turning into Frank.
Trading Jeff McNeil can salvage the day. Just do that. Trade him for a bag of balls.
For real. God. I mean, it's just. There is also like. I have this feeling of David Stearns does not like anybody who was not from the David Stearns era. And he wants like a totally clean slate, even if those remaining players are really valuable or effective. So I don't know, man. It's just like, you can't give up. And I still think with Cohen's money and Lindor and Soto, like there's stuff to build on, but it's going to take so much and then probably so long if he does have a plan in place. Like, it's going to be a long time of hating Stearns. And we're like last year when I did the year of no console, it was like, you proved to me that I should shut the fuck up. You proved to me that I was being an irrational asshole fan, and I need to respect the changes you guys have made to this team. And like that, in a matter of 3 weeks, they've undone it. And I'm now back on, you need to prove to me, you know what the fuck you're doing.
To be fair, they proved that. I think they lost all that goodwill by like August because it was just a slow death. Basically.
Yeah, if this was coming off of like I don't know. I was gonna say if we had a playoff run and this was happening, maybe it would be even worse because we would be like we were right there. But at least like you could point to I don't know what would be worse. All I know is that this version fucking sucks.
And like you said with the GMs too, it's like, do we have a Bloom or do we have a Friedman? Like that's what I'm starting to feel like right now, And after 24, that's the funny thing too. Like Pete, his value was so low after 24, and Stearns' value was so high in 24 after 24, and it just flipped on its head after 25. And granted, I think there are some more Pete detractors. There's not a lot of Stearns apologists out there right now, and people think I'm a Stearns apologist. I'm just saying I'd like to see what happens by the end of the offseason.
I was like the last one left because I did defend him. I was like, aside from like Montas, which was just terrible, it was all tinkering that was like, I thought it might have worked. You're trying to get like production on the cheap. It can go one way or the other. It didn't work out for us. This is like you're putting your reputation and legacy on the line as an executive. If this shit doesn't work out, it's so illogical. If it doesn't work out, that like I think you would be done.
And by the way, what's with every single contract that we are floating being 3 years? That's telling me that the window's wide open and you think we can compete and win right now. Versus, I guarantee Juan Soto's like, what the hell are we doing here? When I signed this contract, you told me, A, we were going to have a big bat. We didn't have Pete back at that time. And then they brought him back because we got lucky. And now you're telling me we don't have the bat again, plus we don't have the other bat? Like, where are you filling this in? Where are you filtering these players? If you think Benji or whoever is coming in and going to immediately be some protection to Juan Soto, they're just going to pitch around him, and he will gladly take his walks.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy Benji has so much fucking on his back right now. Like
it's
that's
insane.
Because that seems like he's almost penciled in right now to be in the outfield, right? When the season begins. And then we see where
no pressure, bud.
Like, and yeah, listen, you can't have that's my guy is Tyrone Taylor. You can't be a center fielder right now. After all these other guys. You can't with Pete Alonso and Brandon Nimmo's bat not in the lineup, you cannot have Tyrone Taylor.
That's another problem. Is like we kind of were like, all right, if Simeon is like, let's say Simeon doesn't produce with the bat and he's a good glove, and Tyrone Taylor, like, all right, but they're at the end of your lineup. You have your core, you have a lot of production. Now, not only do you not have that, all of those guys are a much bigger issue. There's a domino effect here that makes me really not excited for this coming season and like probably thereafter. Being a team that hears there's 5-year offers going around and you don't even, so you're out entirely is legitimate like Pittsburgh Pirates shit. That's like what you like. That's our reputation that the rest of the GMs are going, Stearns isn't even going to come in the room because we're talking 4 or 5 years. That's pathetic, man. Even if you're not going to do it, like, don't let that be our reputation. Put up a fucking front at least.
Even the Reds offered 5 years for sure.
Right. Right. I mean, for real though, there are some like other teams who are out, outshining us right now, at least with their efforts. It's fucking insane, dude.
Again, and call me a bootlicker, whatever the fuck you want to call me. But like at the end of the day, I just can't. I said this in 22. I was like, guys, if this team just shits the bed these last couple of weeks, then this is not the team I thought it was. If Steve Cohen opening day and this is like our lineup, and I'm telling you, I don't know what's worse. What's worse, Jeff McNeil at first or Mark Vientos at first? Because that's kind of like where we stand right now. Like, I just don't think Cohen's operated to field a team like that. Not even for like the winning purposes, but for like he's gonna poison the well for everything he built in 24.
And for a guy who, again, maybe these are like assumed and fabricated things on our side because he doesn't really ever say this stuff. But I'm under the impression this is a guy who has some ego and some swagger and like big dick on the table. And I also could understand he's a guy who's very smart and prudent financially. And if he's like, we're not going to win for the next couple of years, so here's how we're going to operate, like, then it's a big roll of the dice. But I would prefer that than if this guy who I thought was like big bad Steve Cohen is like, I don't want to go over 3 years and like, let the fucking nerd over here decide. Then, yeah, I mean, that's been like my North Star all this time. I kept saying like, I'm not going to treat it like the Wilpons. It might take 10 years, 15. Like, it took a while for the Dodgers to get going. I will wait. I'm patient. I'll do it. But something like this, like, so Clem, if they go into the opening day with like a semblance, like just a ragtag team where it's like, yeah, we clearly are almost rebuilding. What do you say?
I'll be with you guys. It's like that is like I don't.
So this opening day is like,
yeah.
You need like many moves to go this offseason.
And the thing is, like, you can't even get mad if it's not done by Christmas because it's fucking baseball free agency is so broken. It takes forever.
Nice to be there in fucking February for all we know. Like,
when did we sign people last year?
I'm cool with that. So April 1, like
April
between
1.
now and April 1, you're saying you expect. Do you expect to be happy with the lineup and roster on opening day?
Yes, I expect to be happy with what we currently have, and then I can see the vision for going forward. And I don't think that, and I think like I'll be happy, competitive, playoff team kind of shit.
And what do you think that would take? Like, give me,
I don't
wish
know,
list, like a reasonable.
Like, name the first baseman for every team. I could probably get you like 20.
No. But I'm saying you don't have to give me specifics. But like, if we went and got like 2 bats and an arm or something like that, like, because my point is, I can't believe that the team that won't go over 3 years and is nickel and diming and won't even pick up the phone and doesn't make counter offers, none of that signals to me between December 11th and April 1st. They're now going to be so aggressive that they're going to get multiple bats, multiple relievers, and multiple starters.
Yeah, I think maybe I have to look at the free agent. Now I'm going to have to like really go on the free agent list, take a look at that.
I'll toss out names. Ryan O'Hearn.
I actually like Ryan O'Hearn, as crazy as it sounds, but he's not.
Eugenio Suarez, who could in his next contract reach 500 career home runs, 40 home run bat.
I mean, Brett Beatty's my third baseman next week.
Well, Eugenio Suarez could be our DH.
Yeah,
we don't have that either.
I mean, the thing is, like, now with Pete gone, that's the short-term DH is gone unless you're going Vientos, and then you're on the Vientos roller coaster again, which
my guy Ronnie's hitting Dominican League home runs, so maybe it's the Ronnie Mauricio show.
I mean, it comes back to that, man. And like Luis Angel Acuna for Luis Robert sold. Like whoever else, basically.
Go Bellinger. Go overpay for him.
Yeah, I'm like scared, but like I don't want to give up Jet Williams. Like I feel like Jet Williams is going to be awesome, but maybe he's like his like ceiling is like a Pedroia in my mind. Maybe he's not even going to get close to being something like that.
What we need? Open offer. And I think this would be a wise PR move. Steve Cohen, come sit down with me and we'll talk. Because if he were to speak honestly and there was some sort of plan, or like, I know you fans don't want to hear this, but here's why we did these things. Like I would make a lot more sense and I would feel a lot better. I wouldn't be happy if there was something where like, we have determined we are punting on 26 because the whole world's punting on 27. And then we're going to worry about 28 and 29. I would be like, that sucks, and the fans are going to hate to hear that, but at least I don't think you guys are fucking stupid or unexplainably, like, pride, hubris. Like, I don't know what it is, and I wish you would tell me. So come on down, Steve. I'll give you a fair interview. You can talk to the whole world.
January 4th, 2021, Steve Cohen. I don't need to be popular. I just need to make good decisions.
There you go. And what did he do after he did that? He signed 4 GMs in like a year because he had a diddler or a fucking weirdo. He had a fucking drunk, so he hasn't even done good with the good decisions so far, if we're being honest, early in that. but I think he's getting better. But I'm telling you, Stearns, and this is why I wouldn't want to hear you talk to Stearns, because he give you the same word fucking garbage run on.
Stearns talking to the media is pointless. It's just
Have a great
ChatGPT.
offseason.
Yes, ChatGPT.
It's
Perfect.
ChatGPT. It's just robots.
ChatGM.
And like that robotic shit works if you like push the right buttons. But if you don't, and you're in this town just giving lip service and smiles, like Frank Fleming is going to be at your door and you're going to be his chew toy. He's going to fucking hang you from his neck and eat you when he's upset.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson to the people that were complaining about us not re-signing the first base coach. Pick and choose what you want to complain about. We got bigger fucking problems now.
We freaked out about Chavez. We freaked out about Hefner. We freaked out about Antoine Richardson. It's like, well, now it's time to freak out because we don't have a first baseman, we don't have a center fielder, we don't have a pitcher, we don't have a closer, we don't have it.
That's my biggest like thing too, because like you said, Stearns is a Mets fan. He knew how we were going to probably react to all these moves, and I'm just shocked he did it, because the Diaz one more than anything. Pete's the homegrown guy who just broke the record, all that kind of stuff. But man, the ninth inning is our bugaboo, and it's been for my entire life.
You should feel that he's old enough. Like that should have been his bugaboo too. But what the problem is I think you could sit there and smile and be like, "Don't worry, I moved Nimmo, and I've got a plan for this." And Pete, we could take it or leave it, but I have plans for that. But it's when all of a sudden curveball, I thought Diaz was coming back and now he's not, that all of a sudden one move into two moves and then two moves into three moves becomes like, wait a minute, I lost the plot. And then like Phil said, now all the things you thought you were going to implement have changed because you have no fucking leverage and the media's freaking out and the fans are freaking out. And all of a sudden your plan that you were overly aggressive with all goes to shit.
He's fucking Henry Winkler in The Waterboy sitting on the football. He's like, I'm lost. I don't know where I am. The room's closing in.
Seeing ghosts out there.
So I'm in the camp of, if by opening day the team is not where I want it to be, and like it doesn't have like the looks of where it's going to go, I have no problem. I mean, guys, you go back to my blogs. I've been shitting on all my teams for years about different stuff. And when they make smart moves, or I believe in the guy, Leon, I'm like, Leon, you just trust the Leon. I had a fucking shirt. I've been Leon we trust that we actually sold. He fucking bought one too, because he's the fucking man.
But I knew that. That is cool.
Yeah, his whole family bought him, and they took a picture, and I can't find it now. It was like years ago. So like I believe in him. Stearns has lost that like blind trust that he got in 24 from me for sure. But by opening day, if I feel like they're in the right spot, I'm gonna say it. If I feel like they're not in the right spot, I'm gonna say it as well. I have no problem saying
so will I.
I'm saying, Kev, what happened? What has to happen for you to get in that mode by opening day?
I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not. Like, it would be like, I need Scooble. I need a out of nowhere trade like Tatis. I need you to at least sign a free agent, like a big one. Like, give it.
You need like the big. You get the girl the like nice necklace. You need the nice ticket item. Maybe what's the big red bow on the Mercedes in the driveway. That's a nice one.
Or the opposite. Or I want that, or I want honesty, and I want you to come out and say, we are not trying to win anytime soon.
Yeah.
And it's like, we you know, Lindor, Soto will be around. Like, the good thing about Soto is like, he is so about his own personal responsibility. He wants to win and all that shit. But I think for a couple seasons, he could be like, I'm doing my thing. These guys fucking suck, but I did my shit. And I think he would be okay. So if we get into winning with Soto in year like 3 and 4, fine. Francisco Lindor's a different story. Like,
he's 32.
You got a couple years left of like really good Lindor, and then a couple years of like, we'll let you do it because you did what you did for us, and then a couple bad years. Like, it's go time for him. So if you're telling me like we're not competing, then you're basically punting on Lindor in a way. And if you are telling me you're competing, none of your actions this offseason seems to prove it. This is why I'm like, I'm ready to put the fucking tinfoil hat on and believe conspiracy theories, because that makes more sense than like anything I just described.
Steve Cohen died 3 weeks ago. Steve Cohen actually died 3 weeks ago. We've been slowly trying to like save money for the future.
Right. That's more logical.
Phil, what are you going to need by opening day to feel good? You know,
I laid it out: a first baseman, a left fielder, a center fielder, 2 starters, 2 relievers. And I mean, like, there's names out there that I would like. I think come like, what is it, opening day March 27th? Because I'll probably look at the roster and be like, okay, it's probably going to be like 85, 88 wins. It's all I need to get into the playoffs.
I would suck a dick for that right now, where I think we're
And
going.
I think right now, our roster's like, what, 70 wins at best? Like,
And everything you just described, by the way, we probably will get like all of those things, but it'll probably be Stearns being like, I'm going to get this guy for free and this guy for cheap and this guy's a call up and this guy's a scrap piece and it'll work.
Right now, if you made all these moves in the show, and the Mets are probably down to like a 77 overall right now, it's not probably a pretty looking thing. Kyle, what do you got to feel by? Well, God knows where you're going to be feeling when you're going to have in the white.
You don't have to worry about baseball. You can focus on
I'm going to just turn around in August and be like, oh, we're in the hunt, or
exactly.
They got to replace a gigantic bat. And I think you can't replace that with one player. I think you need two players that are going to equate for what we lost. And then you need someone who we currently have to play better.
You're going to hate the word.
That's the way it works. The starting pitching is a fucking shit show, though. Like, we're all focusing on, like, the bats and stuff because obviously Pete just left and Nemo's gone. But, like, the starting pitching is the biggest concern because those kids came up for a month and we were like, oh, look how great they are. But, like, none of them, aside from Nolan McClain, were, like, ready.
Kyle, right now we are in Game of Thrones. And I'm like Cersei and all these people worrying about King's Landing, and you're Jon Snow being like, the White Walkers are coming. None of this matters. Because have you seen our rotation? We're fucked no matter what.
Yes. The guy spoke all fucking press conference about run prevention. And it's like, yeah, okay, Pete didn't have a good glove. I need pitching because it starts with the pitching before we worry about what the first baseman's doing at the end.
That's the entire reason why we didn't make it in the first place.
Yeah.
We didn't call up the kids early enough.
Ball's going over the fucking wall every time, Dave.
Oh man, I kind of want to go back to like the post 24 recap or whatever we did. We probably were so like sucking Stearns' dick, being like, that was so much fun. OMG, bring back Iglesias. And here we are, like, this guy smiles too much. I mean, it was like 30 tweets in a row about his smiles. I've never seen anything like it.
It's a bit much.
It's a lot. Yeah, 100%. It's stupid. Like Phil said, he should not be doing those. I don't know if they were doing that because Devin Williams, the way the timeline, he was doing that press conference no matter what, and the Diaz timing fucked him. But man, it's like the optics were terrible.
The show Pluribus that's out right now, where like happiness is a virus. It's Flumentia, and it is just filtering through the entire fan base right now. He's smiling.
I myself forever even doing like the year of no console and like giving up on like who I was at the core. I was like, I was right all along. I was right all along.
At this point, I want Devin Williams to walk out the Pink Pony Club.
Yeah, right. Just full meltdown.
Just lean into it at this point.
You know what Stearns should do if he was a real fucking asshole troll? Bring back Iglesias now.
You got him.
You
see what JD Martinez is up to.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
All right.
We end up here.
You do not have to believe.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.